years. So you have to think about the immediate future. Does drafting a quarterback in this particular draft here, does that bode well for the immediate future? Is that going to make your roster better? Is there going to be a QB that comes in you think is going to be better than Matt Ryan right away? No matter what you think of him, if any of these QBs past Trevor Lawrence, right? So this is my individual assessment here. You can save it. Keep your own individual assessment. I'm assessing these quarterbacks, and I feel after Trevor Lawrence, the rest of these QBs to me are they're good prospects, but they're not anyone who's earth-shattering that we haven't seen throughout the league or somebody like that. I feel Trevor Lawrence can be that. I feel like these guys are not so great that you won't find them in subsequent drafts, or even if you were to trade down and maybe pick up a quarterback a little bit later.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.
Yo, Top Billin back again, still on this draft tip. Man, having fun with this, going around, really piecing it together for a whole bunch of different teams. So doubling back, way back, as you guys saw here at the beginning, talking about the Atlanta Falcons, who I did several Think Like a GM series content items on. And, so things have changed since then, right? What was that, February or something like that? Where I suggested that the Falcons should trade back, which, of course, in typical Atlanta fans fashion, people were absolutely through the roof angry, talking about, but Matt Ryan sucks, man. We got to replace him, Cletus. He has one of those small trapezius, so he can't throw the ball more than 25 yards. We need a deep ball, and we need a dual-threat quarterback. So fast forward now, the Atlanta Falcons sitting at number 4. Now we have a little bit more clarification on the draft. So if we're thinking about the number 1 pick, of course, should be Trevor Lawrence. Number 2, looking like Zach Wilson, the New York Jets. Now all of a sudden, where you think like the fans of Atlanta, right, should Justin Fields has been a topic in Georgia for the past 3 or 4 years. The first time I ever heard about Justin Fields being an Atlanta Falcons QB, he was a senior in high school. Imagine that. So now it's looking like the goofy-ass San Francisco 49ers may select Mac Jones from Alabama, right? Not to say that Mac Jones is not a good player. Look up and down the channel, baby. I told everybody Mac Jones was going to do exactly what he did for the Alabama Crimson Tide this past college football season. But those are two different things, right? You got to learn how to segment it out. That's college content. If we're projecting to the NFL, ain't no way in hell I'm drafting Mac Jones before I'm drafting a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance. If I'm San Francisco, no matter how great Kyle Shanahan is at having pocket passers and being able to produce with those guys, eventually the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Kirk Cousins, that man, I said it before, that man is a reincarnation of Kirk Cousins, which is not a bad thing. Kirk Cousins can ball. A lot of these people out here thinking everybody's walking around and everybody's Patrick Mahomes or something like that. Most of the league is more like a Kirk Cousins. You can win with a Kirk Cousins. And I said that man's ceiling would be a Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is the truth. I don't give a flip. Listen, I don't care what people in Atlanta say, man, Matt Ryan can play some football, right? Okay, no, he's not for the casual fan. He's not for the guy who wants somebody with a big-ass arm, can do this and that with his legs and all that. He's for the guys who can think the game through, who can think life through. This guy, the type of shit that he does pre- and post-snap to me is amazing. The guy is a winner for the most part, right? Not everybody's going to win a Super Bowl. Not everybody's meant to win a Super Bowl. That it is what it is, man, for lack of a better term. But the guy can ball. But even I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm super tired of hearing Atlanta Falcons fans always trashing Matt Ryan and want him to go. He should go. He should go. Even with the trade back shit is smart. So if we see now, the Falcons are actually doing like I said originally and are open to trading back from the number 4 slot. And that means that they would be potentially giving up on Justin Fields. If the first 3 selections are already in play, maybe the 3rd selection is a Justin Fields, but you wouldn't know if you traded out of 4 and he ends up falling there. If it's Mac Jones, Justin Fields would be the savior of the city. Everybody loves him. Just the same exact fans that love the Falcons love Justin Fields. The most annoyingest fan base with the guy with the most annoyingest fans. So it's a match made in heaven right there. You can't tell nobody anything about Justin Fields and some perceived negatives. It's like he's a perfect quarterback when he is not. He is a great prospect who can be very great in the long term, but if you're being neutral about it, there is some stuff that he needs to work on. But you've already heard me say this for the last couple of years. People are just now catching up to shit that I'm saying 2 years ago. Come on, man. That's why you got to support quality content. Who's out here doing shit like Top Billin, baby? Your boy, the Underground King Murph here. I'm always setting trends, baby. I don't follow trends. I'll just walk on my own path. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck what anybody else is talking about. I only care about what I'm talking about, so I'm able to drive my own path there. Justin Fields, I think, will be great. In no uncertain terms should the Falcons pass on Justin Fields. Listen, I did something about Kyle Pitts, the tight end / offensive weapon. He's just an offensive weapon. The guy's going to be incredible. I did something, a reaction show there, and a whole bunch of Falcons fans up in there talking about we need Kyle Pitts. We need Kyle Pitts. I'm like, what the fuck happened to getting rid of Matt Ryan or drafting the quarterback of the future? You're at number 4. Justin Fields is going to be right there, or at the very least, Trey Lance. So it's that kind of weird, erratic behavior right there. Erratic and erotic, right? They have erratic and erotic behavior up in Atlanta, right? A whole bunch of weirdos in Atlanta doing some weird shit. You know what I mean? So not everybody, but there's a good pocket of them be doing some weird shit out there. You know what I'm saying? You can close your eyes. But I'm saying, why would you pass on Justin Fields if you're the Atlanta Falcons? I just don't understand this. Now, I do understand it, right? Because I said that you should, but what about the reality of the situation? At least from what the fans told me. Oh, we'll never be able to draft this high again. More than likely, we'll never have a shot at a guy like Justin Fields who can be an all-time great. Why isn't that the sticking point for Arthur Smith or the new GM, Fontenot? So if those guys, right, from my understanding is those guys are kind of at an impasse there, and they're like, maybe Arthur Smith thinks that Matt Ryan has some years left, which he does. He has some years left, and he will play some really good football, I think, for the next 3 to 5 years. He fits what Arthur Smith wants to do. The style of play that they were doing in Tennessee, if they brought that same exact shit to Atlanta. Matt Ryan is good for it. That's his style of ball. He thrives in that style of ball. He thrives in everything. So let's not be real. He's a former league MVP. You know the whole spiel. So if you got that guy right there for the next 3 to 5 years, you trade back, you accumulate picks. Man, you just never know. You balling. So we can look at that from that standpoint right there. It looks like they think that they can win now. They have a lot of holes on the roster. I'm not sure if they can win now, right? They're coming from, I don't know how many wins, but they're picking 4th in the draft. So if you would think that trading back, accumulating picks, trying to fill those holes, especially in a QB-laden draft like this one, I said it before, you got to fleece people. If you were to fleece these people, man, I can think of a few people where Justin Fields would go hard, or a few teams where Justin Fields would go hard. Let's check this out. So Atlanta at number 4 right here. The first place that I would think of, just immediately right behind them to where Atlanta could still ball, would be Denver, right? Everybody always making fun of Daniel Jones and these people. Sam Darnold got ran out of town. Why people ain't making fun of Drew Lock? Is it because he's in Denver and people don't ever think about the Broncos? Drew Lock trash dookie as well. If Daniel Jones, my boy Lieutenant Dan, is trash dookie, then Drew Lock is trash dookie. Justin Fields throwing to those guys. Think about this. Daniel Jones don't have, to me, good weapons at all. This dude is loaded with weapons in Denver, right? Man, you know what I'm saying? If you look at the weapons that they have, man, they have 4 or 5 top-notch receivers and tight ends. Noah Fant, Jerry Jeudy on the team, the Tim Patrick kid, right? All kinds of dudes they have, and they have a running back, everything. They may need some more offensive lineman pieces or whatever like that, but they have it there. They have the goods. Justin Fields would go hard in Denver. Absolutely hard. He would go hard in Atlanta. They shouldn't pass him. Just don't pass up on him. But, man, if you do, Denver would be it. You can go to 9, and then you can start filling the holes on the roster. Don't worry about an offensive weapon, another one. They're fine on offense. need a running back and stuff like that, but you wouldn't get that at number 9. You can accumulate more picks from there. Maybe you take Denver's 40th pick, then you target a running back there. But at number 9, man, you could get yourself another cornerback like a Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain and A.J. Terrell on the same team. Or you can go after one of these edge players or you trade back or even more or whatever like that. A whole bunch of different things you can do from Atlanta's standpoint there. Okay, where else? New England. Would New England want to trade up that far? I don't know. I've never heard of the Patriots doing business like that, but of course Justin Fields would go hard in New England. Pause. And you got to pause that. Retro pause too. And then, of course, you got your man Cam Newton already there. Cam Newton, Justin Fields, super tight, right? I seen them boys together a whole bunch of different times, man. That's that man's idol, right? Maybe not from a play standpoint, but definitely from a big brother type standpoint. So that would be pretty cool, you know what I'm saying, for those two guys in New England. But, man, the damn Washington football team, that's a team that I think is on the rise anyway. We saw them this is the thing. People were talking about when I was doing the New York Giants coverage, like the Giants, man, they go make it to the playoff. It shows this and that. I'm like, man, making it to the playoffs with a losing record, you're going to get bounced out in the first round. What is that going to do for the future of your team? Imagine if Washington, as good as Washington is, was picking at 11. Come on, man. They make it just stay where they're at and grab a QB. You never know. Somebody slide down there, a QB of the future. I know they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, but, man, or they might slide into a big-time offensive weapon there or something like that. So, to me, it wasn't worth it. But Washington does look like a team on the rise. I think they're going to be very good. They're great along the defensive line of scrimmage. The whole defense itself has a chance to be very great. They could definitely use an upgrade at quarterback, to me, even beyond a Ryan Fitzpatrick, a young guy like that. They have weapons everywhere. They had a pretty decent free agent haul as well. That's definitely one of the teams, man. I want to know what you guys think, though, where you guys think that a guy like Justin Fields or who the Falcons should trade down with. Chicago. That, you know what I'm saying? Chicago would have to get, to me, they would have to give up a pick or something like that. They're going to go all the way up there and get Justin Fields from 20. They would have to give up a pick to me. A player to me. Somebody like a Khalil Mack. The Falcons needed an edge presence. A Khalil Mack. If you say, hey, you guys want your guy, Justin Fields, you can draft Justin Fields. We want Khalil Mack. That's our price right there. We won't ask for anything else. No, we will. You'll flip, obviously, to 19, get Khalil Mack. I don't know. That would be hard. That would be hard from the Falcons standpoint if they think they can win now and they desperately need a pass rush. Khalil Mack, I think Chicago can survive without Khalil Mack. They just seem to play pretty decent defense no matter what. And they seem to be able to always come with it no matter what on defense. So other than that, man, you guys will have to let me know. I don't see anybody else because everybody else trading up would probably trade up for a player. And to me, you're sitting at prime QB real estate. If you're trading up for a player instead of a QB at number 4, then you're tripping. You are mad tripping right there. There are plenty of weapons in this draft. You don't have to overextend. Maybe if it's Kyle Pitts, he's a unicorn, nobody else like him. But the receivers, you'll find a receiver in the second round that'll end up performing like Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith. There are going to be some really good receivers that people aren't talking about here, whether it be a Tylan Wallace, a Tamori and Terry, Rashad Bateman. These guys are loaded at receiver. So I don't know. It's just got me thinking, though, man. But I want to know what you guys think, man. Think like a GM. Should the Falcons pass on Justin Fields? How sway? And if they do, who should they trade back with? Who would make the best trade scenario to trade partner with? All right? Other than that, man, it's your boy Murph, the Underground King, man. Let's keep the dialogue going. Make sure you support quality content. Of course, as always, it's your boy Murph, the Underground King, top Billin Sports, and I am out. Peace.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.